Hey, today's update, showing some more of the mock-up on the front of the engine. I just wanted to backtrack a little bit, let people know the Hot Rod Power Tour is the goal of this thing. That's what I'm trying to do. The Hot Rod Power Tour, for those of you who don't know about it, is I think the 23rd year, something like that. It's about a 1,800 mile road trip. There's a couple thousand cars that go from city to city, plus whatever cars that show up to the different events in each city. So that's the goal of this thing. This year it goes from Kansas City, goes around kind of the Midwest, and ends up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So grand total, this will be about a 3,000 mile road trip for this car when I do that one. Like I say, my goal is Memorial Day weekend to go for about an 800 mile road trip up into Cody, Wyoming. So that's kind of my test drive. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm working on all this stuff. The intention of the channel long term is just to show anything that I'm working on in the workshop. Machining, welding, mechanical, design, whatever. So the channel is going to move to all sorts of different things for now. I appreciate you guys coming along on this vlog. Keeps me motivated. I'm trying to get this thing going, trying to get this thing done. So the more help I have keeping motivated, the better. So plus it's helping my editing skills for when I do start doing some more informational type videos. So stick around, I'll show you what I'm working on today. Thanks. Alright, this is why we're doing a mock-up. So this is the power steering at the bottom, and then the air compressor for the air conditioner will mount on the top. As you can see, it's not vertical exactly, it's tilted in, it's in front of the engine, because on the back side here, the power steering pump return line is actually hitting the power steering box. As I said, this pump came out of a Tahoe truck. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to cut that back a little ways so it'll clear. I'm not set on keeping this pump. There may be an electronic variable orifice in it, which I won't be able to control. So I may just buy a remanufactured pump for a more appropriate vehicle. So it's just kind of a little bit of back and forth trying to make sure things fit, see where things go. It's easier to do it while you got a torn apart motor rather than trying to do it on finished parts. So this is just the same old P-type pump that GM has been using since the mid-60s. So if I find that I don't want this one, I will just take this case off. The case is the only thing that's unique to this style, so I'll probably just remove the case, get a new pump, and put it in there. So we'll keep moving along. Okay, it's actually a couple hours later. I'm going to show you I've actually sliced that line off so I can fit the bracket on. It lines up now. I think you can see that pulley is really close to that bolt head. Kind of hard to tell, but so that's a good thing to know. All I need to do is I'll get a button head Allen screw and that'll get me some clearance. Come on around to the front. You can see this is now upright. This compressor is not what the vintage air unit normally uses. This is actually the compressor off the GM truck that the motor came out of. They make an adapter. They sold me that adapter for the high pressure and the suction hose on the compressor, and if you notice, they stick straight up. So if you look from a distance, they're quite high. I think if we look from the side, you can, if I line it up just right, you can see across the top of the two fenders, and those two fittings are still, even though it's zooming in, yeah, so those two fittings are sticking up above, so they're going to hit the hood. So that was quite a few hours of me worrying back and forth. Come to find out, they make a block where instead of the two ports coming up like this, they actually come straight forward. So you can take said fitting, and instead of running it up in the air like that, you can run it flat like this. Obviously I'll probably end up getting a different angled fitting, but they'll be much flatter. If for some reason they don't offer something like that, I will draw one up in CAD and contact one of my friends with a CNC machine and see what it costs to get one fixed up. So again, that's why we go through and mock things up. That's the new steering box that I'll be using. So all final. I did have the alternator and the water pump on earlier. That all looks good. So we're in pretty good shape. I also mocked up the condenser for the air conditioning unit. It's in there. There's missing one bracket. This entire kit has probably 150 parts, and they're missing one bracket. So I'm not complaining too much. They've been very good. I'll get a hold of them. I got to talk to them about the adapter anyways in the morning. So I'll find out about the adapter, get my bracket coming in, and what's next? I think the motor might be coming out again pretty soon. So I think those are in pretty good shape. I'm going to clean up this corner, give it a little shot of paint so it looks decent, and then start installing the interior part of the unit. So follow along. We'll be sending more updates soon. Thanks.